has been looking at the Bridgeton landfill, which is a landfill right off of Highway 70, filled with garbage, also filled with nuclear waste that is remnants from the Manhattan Project. It's on fire and has been smoldering. We just found out that the EPA has a report that they released that they could reduce the long-term effects if they were to remove the material, which is something that they had not said previously. Bill Otto is a state representative, wants to be your next congressman from District 2, who's been following this from the very beginning. Bill Otto, thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So were you surprised by this report from the EPA?
This report was shocking. And it's not necessarily the report and what it concludes, because these are conclusions we'd come to before.
Right.
What it was that the document I have here, they held it in secret. They held it in secret for more than 3 years. It's actually put on there, do not cite, do not quote. This is a government document that is a normal process for something like this. The Remedy Board reviewed it. They looked at all of the impacts of the community, the state of Missouri, this CAG group, which works with the community, all of the impacts of the things that potentially could do. The answers are right here, and they never shared it.
So this report was written 3 years ago.
In February, 13.
And they just released it the last couple of days.
And they had started this communications group, which is, frankly, both Don Chapman and I determined that we weren't going to attend for the EPA to start communicating, as they said, this late in the game seems silly for us because we've been communicating.
Right.
We've been communicating the community needs. And then for them to come out with this document so late and with these items on it, if people don't trust their government, this is why. So
in the report, it says, and I'm reading straight from the report, the cleanup work can be done safely without unacceptable risk in accordance with approved health and safety plans and appropriate engineering controls as necessary to ensure that any risks to the community are minimized and mitigated.
Absolutely.
Which is the ball game.
It is absolutely it. It just says you can do it safely. You can do it safely for the community. You can do it safely for the workers. It is a realistic remedy. It is part of what should be considered when they do the cleanup here.
So
and
it
it's
was
in
written
the
3
document.
years ago. Why did they finally come up with this?
It just makes no sense to me at all. It makes no sense. And what is really disturbing here is that the community and the EPA in a separate group have been talking about remedies and what could or could not work, and it's in the document what they could possibly do right now.
All right. So you guys, as we know, who have educated us on all this, Bill Otto, oftentimes you've wanted to get it out of the EPA hands into the Corps of Engineer plans. So what happens now?
Well, there's still legislation at the federal level. It's stalled. Got through the Senate unanimous, which is so unusual. Got over the House, and now it's kind of languishing. And we want the leadership, the folks that, and frankly, Ann Wagner is part of that. She filed it. It's her majority. She needs to get this passed.
Okay, so is there hope now that it could be removed and taken away? I mean, that if the EPA is saying that now, is that what we want?
We have always said that removal has to be part of the discussion. This proves that it is and proves that it's safe.
Right.
And the reason, if you look at the report, they came up with this Remedy Review Board said that they overstated the eventual use of the land. They're not going to build homes on it. It's industrial. There's ways to do it. They can make this land so that it's usable for the community, and the impacts of what's in it no longer disturbs the community.
Yeah. It's really shocking that they would sit on this for 3 years. It isn't like no one knew about this. We've been trying to bang down their door for the last 5 years on this.
Here's another thing that I find disturbing is that the state of Missouri has spent money looking at remedies. The state of Missouri has spent money coordinating bird counts and things there that potentially could affect whether or not the removal. It's very clear in here. None of that matters. None of that's an impact. This report goes over so many aspects of this that folks have been spending time and energy trying to determine the best remedies, and it's in the report. It's in the report, told to the EPA because they overstated the use, they overstated the impact of so many aspects of this. The Remedy Review Board, which is part of the process. part of the normal process. And they put the report, and then they put the report, do not cite or quote.
This
is privilege.
Someone does need to be held accountable for this. I mean, what can you do?
It's criminal.
I'm not big on conspiracy theories. I'm not, because it takes too many people to hold a conspiracy.
Right.
But why on God's green earth would they do this? Why would they withhold it from folks? And Dawn
They
and the
themselves have been criticized, and they had the report. I mean, is it nefarious or is it incompetence? I mean, were they clearing out somebody's desk and they found the report? I mean, you can't. You have to ask the question.
No, but they did all these charades in the background. They're
Right.
meeting with the community. They're talking about bird mitigation to protect the airport. They're talking about how they could remove it, how they would cap it. They kept all of those things on the table,
Right.
when clearly the report says this is the best remedy. It's called the Remedy Review Board. It's there for a reason.
How's the smell over there at the Bridgeton landfill?
Well, it still impacts the daily lives of the folks that live by it. That's all there is to it,
Right.
and it is something that these folks that live up it. I mean, it's hot. You got to stay inside, but it's nice and cool this morning. I always go out in the morning and drink my coffee.
Right.
Over there, you never know if you should.
I will tell you that you go to Rams Park, and it's nice Rams Park, and then you'd see this monstrosity in the background, and you're like, that's the nuclear waste site that's on fire.
The waste has been on the surface in this area for a long time. We took I don't know if I think maybe last time we were here, they found it in the ditch next to where it's on the surface. And they said in their statement, we did not find it off site. Do you know why they didn't find it off site? They don't test.
Right.
They don't test off site, so they don't find it. If your teenage son come back and said the cigarettes were in the car, but they're not mine, yeah, right.
Right. How's the campaign going?
It's going well. We had a great week. Everything seems to be going the way you want to. We closed big, the end of the quarter, a big thing in political circles, where you have to put all our money together
Right.
and show the public. And that's, of course, what we're working on. But I think we're definitely headed in the right direction, and people are responding.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Bill Otto. He is a Democrat. He's a state senator. Is that
No,
correct?
I'm representative from the 70th
Representative, and you are taking on Ann Wagner in the general election for District 2 to be your next congressman from Missouri. Thanks for coming in.
No, thanks for having me. Thanks so